So guys, we all have that one thing in our apartment or in our house where if shit goes down, if it's on fire, or whatever the case may be, that one thing that we're grabbing after our friends and family are safe, we all have that one sentimental thing, and that for me is this guitar. Today guys, I'm going to be telling you the story and the tones of my 2001 Gibson Les Paul Studio Plus. Let's get into it. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name's Ray. I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and today we're going to get all up in my feels. Now you might be sitting at home saying, well, Uncle Ray, what exactly do you mean? It's just a regular old guitar, right? Well, yes and no. Yes, this is just a regular old guitar, but the memories and the nostalgia and the overall sentimental value that I have for this guitar is astronomical. I'm not even kidding. So what exactly is this guitar? Like I said, 2001 Gibson Les Paul Studio Plus. And now right off the bat, look at the flame on this thing. I mean, I'm getting my Spinal Tap on, but all kidding aside, I mean, look how beautiful this thing is. This thing is amazing, so gorgeous. I'll take a whole bunch of shots of this guitar outside. It's a really nice day out today, and you guys will get to see this thing up close and personal. But yeah, just right off the bat, this guitar is really pretty and beautiful, and yeah, man, it just looks so sick. So now let's start to talk about the overall story with this guitar. So this guitar has been in my life for 18 years. This guitar showed up in 2003 when my dad bought his very first Les Paul, and that was this guitar. Now he was a huge Jimmy Page fan and a huge Gibson fan until the day he died. He loved Gibson and he loved Jimmy Page and he loved Zeppelin, and so he always wanted his own Gibson Les Paul. Now this guitar had a pickup selector ring, the bridge or treble and rhythm, that thing, that clear thing that Les Pauls always have, or that cream thing, not clear. Oh my god, get it right? Yeah, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So I had that on there, and then it also had the pick guard. So apart from the binding, it looked like pretty much like a kind of like a bourbon burst or like a really deep tobacco burst type of thing. And yeah, man, it just looked really cool. I mean, it still does, but it had a more traditional Gibson Les Paul look with the pickup selector ring and the pickguard. So the year is 2003. I'm 11 years old, and about 3 or 4 months after I first started playing guitar, this guitar showed up in my life. My dad walked through the door with this guitar. It's like I bought my very own first Gibson Les Paul, and he was so happy, man. He was so proud of this purchase, and he loved it, and he played it so much, and he cherished this guitar and was obsessed with it. And then I in turn became obsessed with it because I saw how he loved this guitar. And it just so happened that, right around this time is when Led Zeppelin's How the West Was Won, as well as that DVD, the live DVD that came out around that same time. So it's this guitar and those two pieces of entertainment, Led Zeppelin entertainment, those three all together came out around the same time, or came into my life at the same time. And I became obsessed with Zeppelin and Gibson and the Les Paul and this guitar. And yeah, so this guitar has a lot of sentimental value for sure. So now fast forward to 2012, I wanted to really get back into the guitar. I had a kind of a cheap PC Rich, and then I also had another guitar. But it was right around this time, I was 19 years old. I really became like obsessed with the guitar again at 19, 20 years old, and I really wanted to like take it very seriously. I was playing like covers and riffing around forever, but it was right around this time that I wanted to become a genuine musician, and I wanted to become obsessed. I was tired of just playing cover songs. It was time to learn theory, and it was time to take myself a lot more serious as a musician. And so I asked for a guitar for Christmas, and I wanted like a Fender Strat, like a Mexican Fender Strat, just like I used one for like $300-400 bills. And I went to my dad's house for Christmas, and he gave me this guitar as a gift, and I was blown away. It was very nice of him. He had since kind of put the guitar down because he unfortunately started to get sick right around this time. He had cancer, and he wasn't very happy and wasn't in the best spirits, and so guitar playing wasn't really at the top of his list in terms of priority. Getting healthy and getting better was certainly at the top of the list. So this guitar didn't really see too much playtime around 2010, 2011. And so in 2012 rolled around, and just so happened that I wanted a guitar for Christmas, and rather than getting like a cheapy Mexican used Strat that was all beat up, he gifted me this guitar, and then I became obsessed with this guitar even more so. So I had this guitar from 2012 to 2014, and I played it every single day religiously, relentlessly, and I became a much better musician just on this guitar. I played it so much, man. Hours and hours and hours on this guitar. And yeah, man, just I became a solid player on this guitar. You know, I'm not like a virtuoso. I never aspired to be anything like a Steve Vai or anything like that. I just always wanted to be the best version of myself, and I became that on this guitar. You know, I always describe my playing like kind of like a Mark Morton type, where like I can riff. I'm like a rhythm player, but if I need to solo, after some time I can get it down. And that's not to say like I'm as good or better than Mark Morton. Let's not get it twisted. I'm just saying that's like how I approach my own playing, and I became myself and the best version of myself on this guitar. And so now I still have it in my life. It's been through the army, it's been through a whole bunch of flights, and yeah, man, just got so much wear and tear on it, and I love it so much, man. But the main reason, guys, the main reason why I love this guitar more than anything is it just reminds me of my dad. He passed away in late January of 2016. So we're now just approaching the 4-year mark. And so right around this time is kind of heavy for me, just because I think of him and I think of, you know, the last couple days. He was very, very sick, man. Very, very just a shell of the man he once was. I mean, you know, I looked up to him like he was a superhero. And then I unfortunately had to sign the paperwork to take him off life support because he was so sick and so frail and couldn't even stand or talk. And yeah, man, just heavy duty time for me in early 2016. And so now I cherish this guitar more than anything. And, you know, I want to have this guitar in my life until the day I pass away. Just because it reminds me of him, it reminds me of that time in 2003. You know, it holds so much sentimental value to me, and it's just like I keep his spirit alive just by keeping this guitar alive and playing this guitar and just feeling it and just how it sounds and how it plays, and just it brings me back to being a little kid in my living room, my dad's living room, and hearing and watching and seeing this guitar perform in his hands and then in my hands. And then yeah, I love this thing so much, and I you know, without getting too emotional or anything like that, it just reminds me of that kid in me that loved the guitar, and then it reminds me of my best friend that is my dad. Yeah, man, just so much memories attached to this piece of wood and this couple pieces of strings and wires and electronics, and I love it so much, man. So now that I've told the story of this guitar, man, got really heavy duty on you guys. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to tell you guys how important this guitar is for me. I'm going to give you some tones. I'm in drop C sharp. I'm using my EVH EL34 head going into my universal audio aux box. And I'm going to give you a quick little demo song with this guitar, which I'm really proud of. It sounds really good in my opinion. So without further ado, let's get to some tones. So guys, that is everything I could possibly give and show you and tell you about the story of this guitar. Long story short, man, again, it's just, I'm very spoiled, very thankful, very humbled, just very everything about this guitar. I'm thankful that my dad gave it to me. I'm thankful that I have this guitar. It plays great. It sounds great. It needs some work, like it needs some new hardware. It needs a refret. But, you know, I just can't believe that I still have this in my life 18 years later and beyond. I'm going to have it in my life as long as I'm alive, you know what I mean? So, like, I can't wait till this guitar has been in my life for like 50 years or something like that. And I can look back and see how much more broken in it's gotten and, you know, just, you know, all the above. And, you know, just everything from the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it smells, the way it sounds. It reminds me of my dad. And it reminds me of being a kid. And it keeps that little kid in me alive. And for that, I love this guitar so much. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the tones, the demo song, everything that I could possibly give you about this guitar. One more time, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate my patrons. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in to allow me to have this platform to tell my stories about my childhood and the things that really, really hit home for me and the things that I really value about my past and my childhood and, you know, the people that made me who I am. So I really appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay metal. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.